All right, so Nuggets fans have a big decision to make before tomorrow night's pregame introductions. Should we boo or should we cheer Carmelo Anthony?
Number 15, Carmelo Anthony!
Cheer as loudly as you can because he deserves it. Anthony gave us 8 spectacular seasons, always delivering 100% effort, often playing hurt. Besides, booing would just be cliche. Star player asks for a trade, let's boo. That's silly. Carmelo didn't do anything wrong. On the verge of becoming an NBA free agent, allowed to join any team he wants, do whatever he thinks is best for his career and family, and doesn't owe any of us even an explanation. Cheer the man for averaging nearly 30 points per game, for leading the Nuggets to the playoffs every season he played here.
He scoops up there and in. What a play.
And for making the team relevant again.
Oh, Carmelo! Right.
Good again. Fun again. Sure, Melo's made plenty of mistakes along the way, and I'm not excusing them, but that's not what we're talking about. Cheer the man for thrilling us, chilling us, entertaining us. Think about it. If you were living in Anthony's hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, and wanted to return home to Colorado, would that make you an evil person? Didn't think so. Cheer wildly, like you did on the night he scored 50. Like you did the time he hit that game-winning shot.
Carmelo for the win. Yes!
And that game-winning shot.
Turn, shoot, good!
And that one, and all the others. Cheer him right in and back out of town. And maybe, just maybe, he might just return the applause. Oh, I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling I'll be the only one cheering tomorrow night out of 18,007. Best part about Melo coming back to town, it gives me a chance to dust off all my old favorite Melo toys, the bobblehead doll, the Melo Weeble, and the rarely seen Carmelo Anthony refrigerator magnet.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, this is what we have on our fridge at home. Isn't that cool? Look at his head bobbles.
He's been in storage for a long time.
Exactly right. Nuggets management will be chatting with George Karl in the next few days to make sure he still wants to be their head coach. As of right now, the team has absolutely no intention of replacing him, and that's good. Everybody always wants to fire the coach, and we've done plenty of that around here lately. Fire the coach, 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 fire the coach. Only the Nuggets have resisted the urge to change their leader. For 9 years now, George Karl has been in charge. For 9 years now, he's led the team to the NBA playoffs. George is 6th on the league's all-time list of winningest coaches, but no championships. Never won the final game of the season, in high school, college, or the pros. And you know what? So what? Karl's an overachiever. He just won a franchise record 57 regular season games with Costa Koufos as his starting center. The Nuggets were supposed to stink after being forced to trade Carmelo Anthony, and instead, they're better than ever. I'm glad the team is planning to honor the final year of George's contract, and I hope he signs one more deal before retiring, as is his wish. But if, after meeting this week to discuss the future, the two sides decide Karl's finished in Denver, there's only one man I'd endorse to replace him. Chauncey Billups. The best leader the Nuggets have ever known is nearing the end of his playing career, is still highly respected around the NBA, and would be, I believe, interested in returning to his hometown team as head coach. Patrick Roy's little brother, Stefan, deleted that Facebook post today in which he announced Patty as the new Avalanche head coach. If Steph was kidding, it'll go down as one of the great sibling pranks of all time. But fortunately, I'm told it's true, and Roy should be introduced in the next few days. This will be totally awesome. The greatest winner in Avalanche history returning to the team as head coach. Patrick Roy, Hockey Hall of Famer, the greatest goaltender ever, 11-time All-Star, 3-time Goalie of the Year, 3-time Playoff Most Valuable Player, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. St. Patrick, the most confident, intense, fiery,
Patrick landed 4 or 5 in this
Patrick got
sequence.
some serious shots in.
cocky,
I can't really hear what Jeremy says because I got my 2 Stanley Cup rings plugged in my ear.
and competitive Avalanche of them all. Oh, sure, Patty was surrounded by other remarkable players, Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, and Raymond Bourque, to name a few. But it was Wah who led the Montreal Canadiens to a pair of championships before accomplishing the same feat with the Avalanche that was the toughest dude on the roster. He's been extremely successful while coaching the Major Junior Hockey League's Quebec Remparts, 8 straight playoff seasons and a Memorial Cup championship. Even if this fails, which I strongly doubt, it's a brilliant move. Wah's mere presence will demand excellence from his players and re-energize a dwindling fan base. Attendance is way down. Good things have been happening for the Avalanche lately. They won the NHL draft lottery for the first time.
Is the Colorado Avalanche.
Are in position to select Seth Jones, one of the top prospects in recent memory. Promoted Sakic to Vice President of Hockey Operations, and now this. Patrick Wah, head coach. Totally awesome. The Broncos' 2013 Summer Turmoil Tour continued today with news that they might have to begin the regular season without their best defensive player. Pro Bowl linebacker Von Miller is facing a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's drug policy. Still unclear whether he tested positive for a recreational or performance-enhancing substance, but we do know that Miller has appealed his punishment and is awaiting a decision from the league. If the Broncos don't play up to expectations this season, it'll be pretty easy to know who's to blame. Just a few months ago, the Broncos were widely considered the favorite to win this year's Super Bowl. Future Hall of Famer Peyton Manning is expected to be much more comfortable quarterbacking the team he led to the NFL's best record last year.
He's got Decker. Decker's inside the 15, inside the 10. Touchdown, Denver.
Star wideout Wes Welker was added to a receiving corps, which was already one of the best in the league. They drafted a couple of players expected to make an immediate impact. Defensive lineman Sylvester Williams and running back Monte Ball, the NCAA's all-time touchdown leader. Even when Director of Player Personnel Matt Russell, Pro Personnel Director Tom Heckert, and offensive lineman Quentin Salisbury all got busted for drunk driving, nobody seemed to think the team's chances of winning Super Bowl 48 would be affected. I mean, who's ever heard of those guys anyway? But now, this. Von Miller, superstar linebacker, the most exciting and dynamic defensive player in pro football.
Von Miller inside the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Denver.
Facing a possible 4-game suspension for violating the league's drug policy. If his appeal is denied, as they almost always are, Miller will sit for a month and then need at least a few more weeks to regain his dominance.
Miller's got another sack.
Win the Super Bowl? Please. I'd be satisfied if they just make it to Thursday's opening of training camp without another embarrassing incident. Hey, this bothered me all night. I'll never understand how 2 professional athletes could be racing against one another and negotiate who gets to win just before the finish line. That's what happened today at the USA Pro Challenge. Hani Acevedo won stage 4 through a driving rainstorm after a 103-mile battle from Steamboat Springs to Beaver Creek. However, TJ Van Garderen allowed Acevedo to win since he knew second place would still allow him to take the overall lead. Huh?
So he said, look, I don't want to work unless you give me the stage. And so it was kind of a little bit of deal making. And I said, okay, I'm interested in time. You're interested in the stage. So you work with me and I'll make that trade.
Most absurd thing I've ever heard. That would be like Magic Johnson allowing Larry Bird to score 50 points as long as the Lakers won the game. Like Muhammad Ali allowing Joe Frazier to knock him down as long as Ali won the fight. Like Broncos head coach John Fox taking a knee with 31 seconds remaining in a playoff game so the Ravens would have a chance in overtime. Oh, wait, bad example. That really did happen. Rocky slugger Todd Helton had his attorney email a statement to the media today saying he's embarrassed by his DUI arrest. I think he ought to be embarrassed by that weak statement also. Not only was Helton arrested in the middle of the night on suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol and careless driving, a mistake which could have killed him or worse yet, you. But instead of publicly apologizing, Todd released a typed communication which began with an excuse of sorts, explaining he was simply driving to a gas station near his house, as if to say nobody could have possibly gotten hurt on my quick 2:30 a.m. run to Coniglio. Yes, we could have. That's when I knew Helton didn't write the message himself. The Todd Helton I know and get along with very well never makes excuses or tries to justify an error. In fact, he's harder on himself than any athlete I've ever known. I'm not listening to or accepting any apology from the greatest baseball player our town's ever known unless I can see his lips moving and hear his voice. Todd is my favorite Rocky. We've enjoyed a very friendly relationship over the years, but I cannot cut him a break on this one. He blew it big time. Rockies owner Charlie Monfort is forced to apologize so often, we ought to just start calling him Sorry Charlie. Monfort's blood alcohol level was so high that if it were a batting average, it would have been the 5th highest on his team. According to the Windsor Police Department, Monfort's breath test registered a .284 after he was pulled over for speeding in Greeley on Monday night. The statement released by the team only immediately after Charlie's arrest became public included a quote that said, "I do understand the seriousness of my behavior." Seriousness? Really? Then why does your mugshot look like you just attended a Carrot Top comedy show? Here's an apology. Sorry, Charlie. I don't believe you. A story you might find interesting.
Rockies have won the game.
Immediately following the Rockies' thrilling come-from-behind victory in the 2007 tiebreaker, Monfort found me in the middle of the celebration and called me an expletive for giving up on the team, which incidentally I did not. Several hours later, Charlie offered what I perceived to be an insincere apology, which I told him was unnecessary. We haven't spoken since. Truth is, I've defended Rockies management over the years, especially when they are accused of being cheap and disinterested in winning. I point to the time they paid $141 million to make sure Todd Helton spent his entire career in Colorado, or the time they laid out $176 million for free agent pitchers Mike Hampton and Denny Nagel. Wasn't Charlie's fault they both failed. Or the fact they've aggressively spent to keep superstars Troy Tulowitzki, $120 million, and Carlos Gonzalez, $80 more, in purple uniforms for many years to come. That's not cheap. But I'm finished. No longer can I support somebody who drinks and drives, risks his, and more importantly, your life, gets caught twice, also got busted for the same crime in 1999, and then smiles like he owns the World Series champion Boston Red Sox instead of the last-place Rockies. Let's remove the comma between the word and the name at the bottom of your screen. Instead of sorry, Charlie, we've just got Sorry Charlie. I truly despise the team-issued statement from the Public Relations Department after there's an incident. If you really want to apologize, call a news conference, stand in front of the cameras and answer the questions. But I do hope this one quote from that statement is honest and true. I'm committed to do what's necessary to deal with my problem. Let's hope he does that.